Latin America is a beautiful region, we all know that, and I have actually made 2 videos of why and how to do business in Latin America. In this one, I will tell you the 5 most common mistakes that business do, or projects or companies do when doing business in Latin America. Ideas that you avoid, of course, making them again, you save time, energy, and you have more opportunities for growth and have fun. The first mistake that I have seen is trying to copy-paste a strategy from one country to another and expect that it's going to work like that. And it's simply not. This is just based on stereotype. Even they say this has worked in Spain, so it's going to work in Latin America, nothing to do. Or if it has worked in Colombia, it's going to work like that in Peru, nothing to do. Peru, Chile, Colombia, Mexico, they're all different and they have many nuances that you need to understand, because I have said in previous videos, Latin America is, on top of many things, a relationship type region, meaning people are first with regards to building trust for businesses and for relationships in general. I will say in Europe, projects come first. If you're going to start to do something, people come around first to a project, which is great for many things. In Latin America, I will say if you really want to make a project work, you really need to get around the people who you work with to understand their drivers, their motivations, and I'm sure you will have great results. The second mistake is related to that, which is not investing in relationships first. Many people believe that actually a project is just something interesting for everybody and that they need to start working right away, and you don't have really a commonality and a real understanding of what's going on in a person's head, and you think that that's just normal and that's just project activated and people start working. Well, things are not like that, because I've mentioned before, trust is something that takes time, is something that you need to invest energy on. If possible, you need to go there and actually understand if this is the right fit for you, for your brand, for your project, and second, if it's the right fit for you, if you like to work with these people, because if not, you're going to waste a lot of time and effort. So definitely going there, understanding the local culture, understanding if there is a real fit into both your brand and your message is great. We actually have a saying for this, which is la cara del santo hace el milagro. If you actually go there and show your face, makes miracles, because people really get to know you and you know if they really want to do business with you. A third one, which is a little bit of a stereotype, and I have to say is a bit right, is underestimate the timelines. I have to say it is a little bit true, this sort of impunctuality on a bit more flexible time schedules with regards to many things. Unfortunately, it is true in most of the cases that I have seen. It doesn't mean that people are always impunctual or always, let's say, rushing to get into things. But in comparison to European standards, or what I have seen in particular in Austria, people take way more time here to plan, to structure a project, to have it done in a little bit more specific to regards to timelines. And although in Latin America we have great project managers and a great way to conduct projects as well, I have to say that there is a little bit more flexibility inside Latin American projects and Latin American deadlines that respect many things. So maybe there's a cultural understanding, or maybe there's a little bit of communication there. So conversations are just very important to have, and people tend to be a bit more flexible than Europeans. So with regards to the process and methodologies and all of that, I really recommend you to have a buffer, to have a bit more flexible mindset that really tells you, okay, what kind of people you're working on with, and to understand where they come from and see, okay, some people overwork in Latin America and they have many projects with regards to in comparison to Europeans. People in Latin America work way more hours, so there's a lot of stress going on. There's a bit more happening there, so maybe there is a story behind why those deadlines are a little bit more flexible. So it is important that you consider that you had a bit of flexibility also and try to make it happen, because it will happen, but you have to try and be more flexible about that. Fourth, super important for me, is ignoring cultural differences. I believe that people ignore that we may look similar, I can be very similar to a person in Venezuela, Peru, Ecuador, Panama, whatever. But actually there's a lot of differences between among Latin American countries. And it's not only working in your favor to know that you have a lot of diversity and a lot of human expression that you can actually benefit from, but also it is important to take it from a people's perspective, that you don't want to be judged in the way that many people are behaving. You have your own way to do things. So it is very important for you to take the time and really understand what is the inner driver of this cultural organization, for example, that you want to work for. So research is very important, and understanding who you are talking to is super, super, super recommendable. Lastly, I think it is a very common mistake to try to do things only with consultancies, and not with locals. I have no problem working with consultancies. I am myself a consultant. But I have to say, sometimes European countries, European companies, sometimes you say, I just take advice to big consultancy and I just do whatever they say and just blindly follow because, they are paying a lot of money, which is, no question about that. I have no problem with this. It's your money. But more than the advice and the system of the theory behind is the action, is the implementation that really makes a difference. And if you don't have local allies or communities around you or people, real people on the street that tell you if this is going to work, well, it's harder for you. So strategies are great. I love them. I love structure. I love planning. But if you don't have a great team behind you that help you to carry out this strategy and implement what you want, well, simply it's not going to happen. And that has nothing to do with the great advice of consultancies, of a great advice of experts. It has to do with doing the work. And who does the work? Well, people. And for people, you need to create trust. It's simple. You need to have a relationship. You need to have a personal connection. So it's really not about simple communication. It's about real connection. And to do a real connection, you need to spend some time in creating a genuine interest and see if you really are serious to do business in Latin America. That can be magic. That can be amazing. But taking into account that is about relationships, it's about understanding each other, it's about a dialogue, it's not about the stereotyping, it's not about copy pasting, it's not about rushing or doing it your way, it's about doing it our way. It's finding a common ground, is imagining there is a person behind a decision that has a life that perhaps is a little bit more stressed than yours, or perhaps with a little bit more going on, perhaps not, but in many cases it is like that. So if you just make a pause to create a conscious relationship, a conscious connection that really make you feel that is the right way for you, I think you have done a great job to do it. So I hope these mistakes are avoided if you want to come to Latin America. Of course, I'll be happy to know your comments if you have any other mistake that you want to avoid because it has happened to you, or if you're Latin American and you feel that you want to say something else because there are mistakes that you have seen foreigner companies or other people coming and making, I will appreciate your comment. So thank you for watching, subscribing, sharing, or liking, and keeping inspired. And see you next time.